Let us try to solve the exercise number 6 in the part B of CMA lab. In this particular exercise, we are supposed to create a simple paint application that draws the line based on the selected color with the selected thickness, and there must be a clear button that will clear the canvas. So when you complete this exercise, this is how it's going to look like. We will have a paint application wherein we can choose a color based on our requirement. Also, we can change the thickness of the line, and then we can draw the on the application here, and when we click on the clear button, it's going to clear the content. From the question, you will note that there is going to be a canvas on which we are supposed to create the application. So I'm going to go to the NetBeans and I'm going to click on the file, new project, and I'm going to select the HTML5 project. I'm going to call this one as paint application. Let's say paint app. You can give any name to your application. It's up to you. Let me click on next, and I'm not going to select any template. Also, I'm going to remove this JSON and the JavaScript file, and I'm going to just click on finish. NetBeans is going to create a boilerplate code for me that contains the plain HTML file, and I'm going to work with it. So in this application, I'm going to just create the section first. So I'm going to start with the section. By now you're familiar with the idea of a section. So I'm going to create a section, and within this section, I've just created the section. I'm going to have two parts here. Now this whole thing that you see here will be my section. So this section will contain two parts. One is for my, let's say, toolbox, and the other one is the main area wherein I'm going to draw the lines. So I'm going to divide them using the div tag here. I will start with the two div tag here. So this will be the first div tag, and the other one will be the second div tag. So there will be two div tags. Okay. So the first one is going to be the div that will be used for drawing this particular toolbox. So I'm going to use this toolbar, uh, and I'm going to use that div for drawing this toolbar. So let's go ahead and let's give a few class name for this one. So this will be my main class as such. I'm going to give a class reference to this so that I can format it. I'm going to call this as main. And the remaining, I can give the class or I can give ID. It's up to you. I just started with the class. You can call it as ID also. It's up to you. Okay. It's up to you how you want to call it. Okay. Class or ID. But anyhow, I'm using it for formatting it, not for anything else. Let me give a ID to this, and I'm going to call this as a toolbar. Again, you can call it as class. It's up to you. I'm going to just use it for formatting it, that's all, so that it's going to appear like a toolbar here. So to get that color effect and other things, I'm going to use it. So you can make it as an ID, or you can make it as a class. It's up to you. When you are referring it in your style, if it is a class, you put dot. If it's an ID, you start with a hash. It's simple as that. So let's look at this toolbar. Now this toolbar, if you look at this particular toolbar that I've just drawn, there is going to be a heading here called as draw. I'm going to do it using h2 tag. So I will start with an h2 tag here. I'm going to call this as an h2 tag. So let me call this an h2 tag. And I'm going to call this one, I'm going to type draw here. So, okay. So if you run this particular application, just to run this and just show you, you're going to see a draw here. That's it. Okay. That draw, you're going to get it. Next, I need a stroke. This is a label and a color picker. Okay. How do I get this color picker? Let me click OK for that. Now you know very well to get this color picker, you are going to put input. Okay, you're going to start with the input, and the type of it is color, because you've studied about the HTML. You know that the type of it is color. And let me just stop this one and just show you how it is going to look like. So if you look at here, let me go here. You're going to select a color picker here. Okay, you can change the color. You get this color picker. Okay, that's done. Okay, but I want a label for this. If you look at here, there is a label. So let me put a label for that. So before I put it, let me give an ID for this. I'm going to call this one as stroke. You can call it as color. You can call it with anything. Okay, and I'm going to put a label. Okay, so I'm going to say label. Okay, for this ID, that is the stroke. Okay, label for this stroke, and I'm going to call this one itself as stroke. How they have called it, I'm going to call it as stroke, and if you look at the output, you're going to get stroke. Okay, a label for that. Again, it's not arranged like this. We're going to get them in that way. Next, if you look at the next part here, okay, let's look at the next part. Next part is we need a box that can take numbers. So this is the input box with the numbers. So let's start with the input box. I'm going to say input. Okay, and the type of it is number, because it's going to contain the type is number. Okay, let me just close it. Okay, and let's see how it's going to look like. And here, and you get a input with the okay number input. Let me give a label to this one also. I'm going to say label. Okay, and for this one, so for the ID, which I'm going to fill it slightly next, and I'm going to call this one as a width. Let me close this label, and I'm going to give a ID for this one, and I'm going to say this is width. You can give it any name. Okay, let me put it width here, or line width. You can call it anything. Okay, and let's say width. Okay, ID is width, and let me save it, and let's look at how it's going to look like. You have the width. I'm going to give a, not this one, sorry. I'm going to give a initial value to this one. So I'm going to say the, what is the initial value? That is, how do you say this? So value is, let's say 5. That is the initial value. So if you look at it now, so you have the initial value. You can increase or decrease the value. And if you don't want this color, you can specify any color by going to this color here, and you can specify a value. Now if you say the value is red, if you say like this, and if you try to look at here, you will not get this red. Okay, you have to specify a color on your own. How do you specify a color? Now you know very well how to specify a color. You start with the hash. First two numbers are for red, second two is for RGB, red, green and blue. So I have 0% of blue, 0% of green, 100% of red. So what is the color you expect? 100% red means you expect it is to be a red in color. Okay, if I change this and if I say 0% red, first two is for red, second two is for green, so 100% green. If I save it, and if you look at here, it's going to be green. So you select a color of your choice. I'm going to make it as a red itself. So let me make it as a red itself. So 00. So this is going to be red in color. So you got a red color here, but it is not coming the way you expect it to come. But let's finish the first part there. and we will get back to the other part. Then we need a button. So this is going to be a button with the name clear. So let's go ahead and let's get a button. You can say input type is button. It's up to you how you type it, or you can just get the button itself. Input type is button. So you can do this way, or you can directly start with the button. It's up to you. Okay. And then you say value is clear. Okay. And just close this input. Okay, it's going to come like this clear button. Okay. It's up to you. Again, I'm not saying that you can't use the button type, you know very well the what is there. Now let's fix them one after the other. So let's get them into action. So we start with the CSS now. Let's fix a few CSS now. Let's first of all, if you look at here, there is you have to get rid of this margins and padding which is there. So generally you get the margin is 0. There may be some padding. So I want it to 100% occupy the whole thing. So I will go to the body. First, let me put the style here. Okay, let me start with the style. And I'm going to start with the body. That is the body of the body tag itself. The tag that you have here, that is the body. So you're going to set, I'm going to set the margin as 0. Okay. And padding as 0. So I don't want any padding nor any margin. So 0 margin. And I'm going to set the height of it as 100%. So remember, I'm using 100%, not 100 pixel here, not 100, yes, 100%. And let me get the what happens if it is going beyond it. So if it is going beyond it, I'm saying overflow is hidden. So if it is going beyond the screen, let it hide. Okay. And if at all you are drawing anything, if you look at the colors that are there over here, so they are white in color. If at all you want, you can set the color as white. Generally the color of let's go back to here. So generally the color of these things that you see over here are black in color, but I want them in white in color. So you can notice here, you can set it for the toolbox, or you can set it here. I'm going to just set the color as white. Now, the minute I type this color as white, you will notice that I save it here. You will notice that that thing is gone. It is there, but because my background itself, the foreground itself is white, white on white, you will not see it, but it is there. Okay. Now let's come back. You can take it to the main window and do it. So that's enough for my body. Let's go with the main part. Okay, now main, I want it to, let me start with the main. So let me start with the main here. Main, I want its height also to be 100%. Okay, that is my section. Remember, what is my main is my section. Section will occupy 100% height. Okay, width I'm not really interested in, but I'm going to make the display of it as flex. Okay, the what is the meaning of thing is using flex, you can have the flexibility of drawing one next to the other, that is row wise. Okay, or you can have the other one is you can have the column wise, items getting filled in column wise. So it's up to you how you want to do it. So I'm going to set the display type as flex. So what is the what is going to happen when you say display is flex? The toolbox is going to come here, and the canvas on which you are going to draw will come next to it. So the tree that is drawn there, so that this part will come next to it. So the first row, this one will be the next. That is the default one. Okay. Now let's come to the toolbox, that is toolbar over here. So I'm going to start with the toolbar. Let's say go with the toolbar. Okay. And again, I'm going to start the display as flex again. However, only difference now is, remember, by default, when you say flex, if you have this is the container, and if you have the flex, any item will come along the row. it's going to come in row. Okay, one after the other, it's going to come in row. But for the toolbox, if you look at my toolbar here, I don't want it to come in one after the other. I don't want them to come one after the other. Rather, I want them to, this is along the horizontal, that is row wise. So this is row wise, it is giving you in row wise. But I want them to come in column wise. So I want the first item to come here, next item to come here, next item to come here, and so on. So along the column, I want it to come. So what is that I can do? I can go to this flex and I can say that flex direction. So I'm going to say flex the direction is along column wise. Okay, so if you look at this one now, if you look at here, so if you notice that it is coming one below the other now. One is here. It is definitely, it is not in, you will not be able to see the text because the text color I have changed it to white. So it is there, but you notice that it is coming along the column. So it is coming along the column. However, you will, if you just use the mouse and scroll along, drag along it, you will see that it is still there. Okay, because it is the, I've taken the color in the main, I've taken the color that is foreground color as white. You will not be able to see it. So now let me fix the background color for this so that I can show you the effect there. So I'm going to say background color, and you can select any color of your choice. I'm going to select slightly, so select a dark color here. I'm going to select one color. It's up to you, any color of your choice, you can just select it. Now okay, just see, I'm going to just save it. Let's say if you look at here, you see that now you can see the draw width and so on. So that color you just select it, but I want to reduce the width of it. So let me put the width, okay, as say 80 pixel or something like 100 pixel or 80 pixel, anything will work. Okay, so I'm going to just fix its width. So where is the width gone now? Hey, that is not window, it is a width. Okay, so let me fix that width. Okay, you see that width 80. Now I want some kind of padding here. Now if you notice that they are just coming very close here, if you notice it's actually touching the box here. So I'm going to give some padding so that maybe 5 pixel padding, so that they are going to appear a bit neat. So I'm going to just say padding. Okay, let's say 5 pixel or maybe 7 pixel 5. Don't make it too much. Okay, just you notice that they are now they are bit there is some padding here. Notice there is some padding here. Also in between the control also there are some padding. Okay. If you want, you can increase the padding size, but that's enough, I suppose. Okay. Now, I want some margin to be there for all the component, because the margin that you notice that they are coming very close. So just want to fix the margin for all of them. So how do you do that? Is you can't do anything with it. I don't want the margin for the toolbar, but I want the margin for all these things which are inside the toolbar, not for the toolbar itself, but all the components which are inside that toolbar. How do I get all the components which are inside the toolbar? So I start with the toolbar. So this is my toolbar, and I'm going to put star. So when I say star, everything inside that. Okay, and I'm going to say margin as let's say 2 pixel. So left, right, and all of them will get some margin. And you notice that they are a bit relaxed. So if you want, you can just make it as just, I will just make 5, and that is, I think, too much. But you notice some margin is there. Okay. But let me fix it as 2 pixel or 5 pixel. It's up to you. Okay. During the examination, don't waste your time with the everything. Okay. So just say colon. What is this? Why it is saying that? So all the component within the toolbar, it is saying star, it's not taken it up. Okay. Why? Let me see. Okay, let's see. It has not taken that. Last time it didn't do that. Sorry. Okay, but it has done it now. Okay, 5 pixel, 2 pixel, up to you. Okay, what I've set is, remember, otherwise I have to, now you may say that what is that you are doing? Otherwise I have to go for the H1 and set its margin. Go for this color box, set its margin. Go for this text box, set its margin. Go for this the button and set its margin. So instead of that, I am saying that within that toolbar, whatever star means everything. Everything that is there inside the toolbar, you set the margin for it. In one shot, you can do it. Okay, this is simple as that. Now let's come back to this H1 and let's see what is this H1. Now, if you notice over here, there is a linear gradient. It's the one that you see here. This is actually a gradient. It starts from the black color and it just goes to the green color. So you see this gradient. So this is the gradient. And this, there is actually a gradient for this. I don't know why they have done that particular thing, why they gave you the exercise with that, but maybe they wanted you to learn how to set the gradient. But the problem with the gradient is, even though the gradient is supported by, or it is standardized, but it is not supported by many browsers. Still, till today, they are using the WebKit for getting the thing done. Remember, WebKit is not a standardized one. It is not a specific one. WebKit was part of the Chrome. The Chrome was using the WebKit. Now even the Microsoft is that is Edge is using, but Mozilla is not using that. Then you will have to set it for the Mozilla browser also. Yeah, that is Mozilla is your Firefox. But let's not bother about it. Let's set the property for H2. Now, if you want, you can make it as H1 also. I've set it as H2. So let me go with the H2. Okay, and in the H2, that is this draw H2. I'm going to set the background. So let's start with the background. Now, during the examination, if you don't remember anything, don't set the margin, don't set anything here. During the examination, suppose if you can get the things done, set the background color as aqua. Okay, just set it during the examination. If you forget this, how do you get that gradient? If you forget how to get this gradient, just set it as aqua and you will get the marks for that. Okay, don't worry, nobody is going to find fault with you, but you are supposed to use a gradient there. As far as their example also, you are supposed to get a gradient, but you know very well, I have not seen any colleges which are giving the question paper in color. Even the university is giving the question paper in black and white. So they can't, after giving a black and white question paper, they can't tell you that this is in blue color, that is in red color. And you have to ask them, give us a color printout and I will do according to your color. Okay, when they are giving a black and white question paper, they can't expect you to get this color in green, the other color in white, and so on and so forth. So that problem is there, but don't try to argue like that. You know that there is going to be a gradient color. Fix the gradient color. If you can't get the gradient color, just set the color as aqua. It's going to solve the problem. Now, because I'm giving the example here, I can't just rely on that. So I'm going to start with the background color. Now I want a linear gradient. So I'm going to say linear gradient. Now linear gradient means you have two colors here. If you notice the color that you have here, you can have many colors, but I'm going to start with the two colors. So one color is black, say, the other color is the red color. So it is varying from black to red. So in the same way, you will have to have two colors that are varying from two things. Okay, which are the two colors? The first color I already gave you an example. What was my first color? Is my first color was aqua. Okay, what was the spelling of that? Aqua. Aqua. Okay, hey, what is it doing it? Aqua is my first color. Second color, I'm going to take magenta as my second color. Okay, now if you look at here, you see that magenta, the top one, it is coming from top to down. So let me just zoom in for you. The top color is aqua, the bottom color is magenta. Now I don't want it to come in top down, but if you look at them, it is from the right, uh, it is going from left to right. So it is going from, you look at here, it is going from left to right. The colors are varying from left to right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just fix here and I'm going to say to right. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to say to right. This is not required. Okay, let's see, to right. So you've noticed that it is now varying from aqua to magenta. So it's coming in that color. Okay, if you don't remember the word magenta, you can use a red color. Okay, two colors are required. So if you don't remember, the first color is aqua or blue and red will work. Okay, don't worry, two colors are required. Not exactly, they have not said that exactly it should look like this. The two colors will work. Okay, done with it. Let's now the problem is, let me first tell you what is the problem. The problem with this is not what is required. This is required, that color must come inside that draw. Now the color is coming outside the draw. Now you have to get this that gradient color that you got for that draw, the text, not as the background. Now it has come as a background. So what to do? So can you set, the next question is, can you set this color itself as that? So can you set this color? Let me remove this color as that. Okay, you will notice that it's not going to work. Okay, so the trick, if you just say, okay, I will change the foreground color itself as linear gradient, it's not going to do that thing. Let me start with the background itself. So it's not going to solve the problem. What to do in this case? In this case, you have to clip that particular thing, background, to the text. So how do you say I'm going to clip it? You're going to say clip. Okay, so you're going to say the not this clip, the background. Just clip will not work. So background, and I'm going to say background clip. Okay, and I'm going to say clip the background to the text. Now let's look at what is the effect. Let's go. You notice that nothing is happening. It is not coming. Why it is not coming is because the background, the foreground is already white in color. I don't want that white color. I want it to be transparent. So that, see, what you've done is you put some color. Okay, some color is there. On top of it, you have drawn the draw. You've written that draw. Now you said you clip it, but this draw is already white in color. I don't want that white color, so I want to make it as transparent so that I can see the background color from this draw, from this D. I want to, if I remove this white color and if I make it transparent, I'm going to see that gradient color there. So how am I going to do that one? Okay, to do that one, I'm going to say, okay, this what is this fill color. So what is not this fill color, the color. Okay, and I'm going to make it as transparent. Okay, you see this effect now? Can you see the effect there? Okay, you see it as the color. So I made that the foreground color as transparent so that I can see behind that color is there. Okay, that is why I'm able to see that thing. Now suppose if I remove this thing, okay, Control X, and I do it now. You see that even the draw is not there because draw is having the same color. I made it as transparent. Okay, so that is what I have done. Now the problem with this one is I am able to see this effect on my Chrome browser. But if you don't have the Chrome browser, or if you don't have the Edge browser, suppose in your college if you are using the Mozilla browser, I am not very sure whether it's going to work. Remember, these two tags are standardized. They are already standardized and they're going to be used with the Chrome. The latest version of the Chrome will support it. But in your college, if you have the older browser, the older version of the Chrome, or the other browser, not the I'm going to just start this Edge here. What is this Edge? EDG, Microsoft Edge. I'm going to just open this Microsoft Edge, and I'm going to show you whether it's going to come in the Edge itself. Remember, not this tag. Remember, this is actually it is standardized. Okay, but this is not supported by older browser. So if you go to this, where is this one? Is taking me to this. Okay. If I take it here, it is see this is the latest version of Chrome that the Edge that I have. So it's going to do that. And suppose if you have Internet Explorer or this older version, I don't know. Some colleges you may have it there. It at home you may have all the latest one, but in your colleges not the latest and greatest may not be there. In that case, you will have some problem. In that case, what to do? Okay, so in that case, remember, if this is working in your college, the well and good. Okay, if it is not working in your college, what to do? Then you start with the WebKit. Remember, this is non-standardized, so you start with the WebKit, and you say WebKit. So where is this WebKit dash background? Okay, so you say WebKit dash background clip. Okay, is text. This is non-standardized. Remember, anything that starts with the dash, it means they are not standardized. It's not standardized by the CSS, but it is being supported by most of them. WebKit is actually supported by even the Mozilla supports it. So you may not have problem with the Mozilla. So I'm going to say what was the this one text. What was this text fill color? Text fill color, and you are going to make it as transparent. Okay. You these two you have to type it. Suppose if it is not working, remember if it is working in your college, don't type this, don't remember this. If it is not working, remember that you are going to use a WebKit background clip. Instead of saying background clip, you just say web dash, that is a hyphen WebKit dash background clip, and WebKit text fill, not the color. Okay, because it is working in my and definitely in our college, it's going to work. So they will not have this issue because you are already using Windows 10 with the Edge, which is getting updated every now and then. So you may not have the issue with that. But in other colleges, you may have the issue. Suppose we are using Windows 8 or the older version, you may have some problem. Okay, so let's go ahead with the next part. And if at all you want the other one, what else we want to do? Okay, we have to clear this this clear button. If you look at here, that is different. Okay, so let's get no, let's do something with that clear button. To do something with that clear button, we have to give it a ID. So I'm going to say ID, and let me give it a ID for this clear button. What is the ID that you can give? I'm going to just call it as a clear BTN, clear button. Okay, so let me fix that clear button. I've just given a ID for that clear button. Okay, so that's the ID I have given. So let's do something with that clear button. I'm going to just say clear button, and let's do something with the clear button. First of all, it is blue in color. You notice where is it? It is slightly blue in color. So I'm going to say background is blue. Okay. If you notice now, it is blue. Where is this? This is blue in color. And if you want the color on that thing, so color is white in color. It's white in color. So let's see how it's going to look like. So you got this one, and definitely I don't want it to look like a button, so I'm going to change the border radius of it. I'm going to make it circular. So if you notice here, The border radius is the original one. The border radius here is circular. If you look at here, it's actually circular. 3 pixel. I've set the border radius. So I've set the border radius as 3 pixel, and I don't want the border itself. Let me, that border, if it is there, it will not show it. I don't want it that border to appear, so I'm going to set border is none, and then border radius. So if you notice now, that border is not there. Only thing is, I'm going to just give a padding, so that thing, extra padding is required for this particular thing. So let me give a padding of a 3 pixel. So let's see whether I'm able to get. So I got everything there, but you may say that no, it is not coming like this. It is not coming below here because you don't have anything on the right hand side, and you have to adjust the right hand side, then only it's going to come. Okay, so let's go to the right hand side. Now these are the things that we have done. What are we supposed to do on the right hand side? That naturally, you know very well, on the right hand side we need the canvas. We don't need anything else. So let me put a canvas here on the right hand side. So this is the right hand side div that I have. Okay, so I'm going to say canvas, and this is my drawing goes here. I'm going to just say goes here. I'm just typing it. It's not going to appear here, but just show you that it's going to come here. So the canvas is here. Now let's go ahead and let's do something with that canvas here, because I want to refer to that canvas. I'm going to give an ID to this one. You can call it as anything. I'm going to call this as a draw area. Okay, so I'm going to call this one as draw area. Okay, now this is all you need to do. Now the remaining part is the JavaScript. So let's go ahead. After the section, let's put the script here. So I'm going to put the script. Let's start with the script, and we are going to write the JavaScript from now onwards. First of all, I want the reference to my canvas. So let me get the reference to my canvas. I'm going to use some constant here. So I'm going to say constant, and let's say canvas. I'm going to get the reference to this canvas. I want to get the hold on that canvas. How do I get this one? You know very well. To get it, you have to go to this document object. So we'll go to the document object, and I'm going to say get element by ID, and what is the name that I have given is draw area. So I'm going to get the draw area now, reference to this draw area. Then I need a context, so I'm going to use one more constant, ctx, as my context. How do I do that? I'm going to go to this canvas. Okay, I'm going to say canvas, and I'm going to say get context. Where is it? This what do you say? Get context. So I am not getting anything there. Is my spelling proper? Okay, so let's say canvas get context. I don't know why it went. I'm going to say 2D can. Anyhow, even if it is not giving, you know very well you're going to get this. I think this spelling. Am I typing it properly? Control C, and I'm going to just make Control V, so that it's going to appear properly. So I got the context ctx, and I want the left hand side of this, because I'm going to draw anything in this area. So I must know what is the left hand side, so that I can draw from here with respect to this edge. I'm going to draw it, as well as with respect to the top side. I want those two positions here. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to say constant. The x value here is ctx dot, and I'm going to say canvas. What this is not this one, not this ctx. I want to say this is canvas. I'm not getting this canvas. I don't know what is it. Okay, now I got get context. I'm not sure what is it trying to do. Did I made some mistake. The minute I'm not getting something, that means to say that I'm doing something wrong. Okay. I should have got that one. Let me just run it and just see whether I'm getting anything. Okay. I'm not getting. Did I made any mistake? Okay, I hope I've not done any mistakes. So let me start with the thing. Let's say I'm not getting. Usually, the NetBeans will help me out with that, but anyhow, it is not helping me in this case. Canvas dot. I'm going to say offset because it is not giving me the option. So I have to say offset left. I'm very sure that it is there is something wrong with what I'm doing, but it's okay. Okay. CONST. Okay. So this is the first one. Let's go ahead and let's get the y value. So again, I'm going to say constant y, and I'm going to go with the canvas, and I'm going to ask the canvas, give me the offset, not the left offset. I want the top offset. Okay. I'm not getting any help. So that means there is something wrong with the script that I'm typing. Okay, anyhow, I'm going to see whether the things are working fine or not, because NetBeans has suddenly stopped giving me any help. Okay, so I know that the top left and the top left, the left side and top side. So I'm going to adjust the width now. See, remember, when you have this one, when you know your canvas is going to start from here, so you must otherwise if this is not there, suppose if this is not there, your canvas would have started from here to here. But because that toolbox is there, because this toolbox is there, now your width, this was actually the width that you had, but your width is now reduced from here. Okay, instead of starting from here, the width of the canvas has to be reduced so as to accommodate this toolbox. So how am I going to do that thing? So for that, I'm going to say that, and I'm not getting any option here, but I'm going to just type a canvas dot, okay, and I'm going to say width, okay, equal to whatever the window is there. So a window dot, and I'm going to say inner HTML. So inner, that is, sorry, inner, not HTML, inner width. Okay, whatever is the inner width. What is this? A window inner width means. Window inner width means the whole size from here to here, this whole width, that is the window size. But I don't want the window size to be this much. I want my window size, or the canvas size must be this much. So not the full window width minus this position, that is the starting position. This is the X value that I have taken. So window width minus this X value, that is what I am taking here. So X value I've taken here, that is the starting point. So I'm going to say the total width of the window, that is this whole window, total width of this window minus this much. This is your X position. So minus this X value that I'm going to take. Okay. So that will be the width. But for the height, I don't have to do this one, but I'm going to just try with the height also. So I'm going to say canvas dot height. Okay, now I'm getting some property. Okay, height is equal to window dot inner height, okay, minus y. So that is what I've taken it. Okay, so whatever value that is there, window. So I'm, in other words, I'm adjusting it so that it's going to come in this region. So it's going to come in this region from here to here. That is the width. Okay, now generally the top side will be 0. This y value is generally 0, but if there is something extra, let it compensate that. Okay, so that being done, let's go ahead with the first part. Okay, so what is the first part that we are supposed to do? So the first part is, suppose if you select this color, suppose if you select a color from here, so that color must be taken while drawing. So I'm going to go to this one. Suppose if you select a color, and that color, let me take some color here, red, that color has to be selected. How am I going to do that thing? I'm going to write a function for that. So I'm going to say function, I think there is something wrong, function, let me take it as a change. Remember, this is called as a stroke. It is not the line color. You just call it as stroke. Okay, and you are going to change the stroke color. So how do you change the stroke color? Go to the context. What is the name of the context? You notice that the context, I have taken it as a CTX. CTX dot, you're going to change the stroke style. So you're going to say, I think I'm in trouble. This is not going to work, but let me take, because it's when it is saying I don't know what you are doing, that means to say that there is something wrong with it. Let me, in any case, stroke color is equal to, okay, whatever the stroke color is equal to, get the hold onto that. So you're going to say document get element by ID, and what is the name of that element? Now this element, whatever element that you have selected, this element color, whatever color is there, I want the value that was there in that element. Now what is the name of that element? Now let's go to the our HTML, and you notice that this name that I have given, that the ID that I have given to it is called as stroke. Okay, so I'm going to say from this stroke, this is the element. Where is this? This is the element, that is this element. Okay, from this stroke, whatever color you have taken, or whatever color you have selected, that will be the color that will be used. Let's do the same thing with the line also. So what if you change the line width? What if you change the width of the line? So if you change the width, what to do in that case? Let's write a function for that also. Now let's write this function. Okay, and I'm going to say change line width. You can say line width. Okay, let's write a function change line width. And what are you going to do? Remember, I'm going to directly, I can't change the line width. I'm going to take a variable here. Okay, variable here, and let me call it as a line width. Make it as line width. Initial value is 5. You notice that initially the width was 5. Okay, so initial is 5. Now if you are changing it to something else, so I'm going to say line width is again same thing, get let's go to this document get element, get element by ID. Let's look at and I'm going to get the value of that. So what is the element that we are talking about? This is the element. So this is the element. I gave the name for this as a width. So this is the element that I'm interested in. So I'm going to get it from an element called as a width. What is this width element? Width element is of type number, and this is the one. So this is the one that I will be using. So this element, whatever value you are changing, I'm going to use that one. Now let's first remember, you just written that function. You've written that function, but this function is not connected to this functions have to be connected. So this function that you have written here, let me remove some spaces from here. So these functions that you have written, Okay, these functions have to be connected. So this change stroke have to be connected with the color function here. So how am I going to associate them? Now, whenever I make changes, so whenever I make changes to this color, any color that I'm changing, the value has to change. So let's go here to this, where is this stroke color, whatever you have written, and I'm going to associate it with the function. So on change, I'm going to say on change, I want you to call a function. And what is the name of the function? Change stroke. So what is that I have done is for this input box, what I'm saying is on change, whenever somebody makes changes to this, you call this function, that is this function. So this function, change stroke function, here I'm going to set the value. So that is what I'm doing it. So whenever, in other words, whenever somebody goes here and selects some color, so when the color changes here, you see there, when the color changes here, when you make some change in the color, you have to call this function. What is this function? Change stroke function. So this function will change the style of, or is going to change the stroke style. Okay. In the same way, whenever somebody makes changes to the number here, that is the line width number here, I want you to call this method, that is change line width method. How am I going to do it? So this is my input box that is having the number. Okay, I'm going to go here and I'm going to say on change. So I'm going to handle this event on change. I'm going to press control space here and I'm going to say change line width. So what is that I have done? So whenever somebody makes changes to this input box, so whenever somebody makes changes to that, I am going to call this change line width method. So this method is called. In this method, what you're doing, you are getting the new value of that element. So whatever new value that you are changing, that value will be stored here. So that is what you have done. Now let's look at how to draw the lines. So that is the next thing that we are supposed to do. So let's look at this idea, how to draw this line. Where is the other one go? Okay, where is my, I think I closed that. Let me go here and let me run it one more time. Okay, so let it come here. Okay. So let's look at my sample one. Okay. So in my sample, what is that I'm doing is I select some color and that part, let it be there. Okay. You selected something here. Okay. So I click first. So I press the mouse button down and I then start moving. And when I release the mouse button, from that point onwards, no drawing should not continue. So in other words, when to start drawing, when you press the mouse button, left mouse button down, you have to start drawing. You will keep on drawing until you release the mouse button. So here you are going to press in this point, when you start, you are going to press the mouse button down, and you will, with the mouse button down, you are going to keep on drawing something. And when you release the mouse button, when the mouse button is released, from that point onwards, you should not draw. Okay, that's the idea. So when the mouse is pressed down, you're going to start drawing it, and when the mouse button is pressed up, you will stop drawing it. So you remember that thing. Otherwise, what will happen is you will, whenever the mouse moves here and there, you will keep on drawing it. So I must know when the mouse button is pressed down. So when the mouse button is pressed down and when the mouse button is pressed up. Okay, that is one thing. Also, you must know that when the mouse button is pressed down, you must know the X and Y values, so that you will start drawing from this location. The XY value you must know. So here also you must know the X and Y value. That is your starting location. You must know this value. From that point onwards, you will start drawing. So how do I know? How do I get all those things there? Okay, this event, whenever you handle this event, you are going to get something. So let's start with the first two things, and that what is the first two thing is, you must first get the value of you must have something in your painting. You must have some way of saying that it will start drawing from here, this point, and stop it here. So when the mouse is pressed down, you must have an event recording that start drawing. When the mouse is released, you must have one more event saying stop recording. So we are going to handle two events here. Okay, what are the two events? Remember this, you are doing all these things, you are doing on the canvas. This whole thing is the canvas on which you are drawing something. So let us go to the canvas first. So you have the canvas here. So let's go to the canvas here, and in this canvas, let me put this one. In this canvas, we have two events: on mouse. Okay, where is this? Why it is not showing? Okay, on the two event, and that is not on. Let's say mouse, but it is not giving me anything there. Okay, it should come there on mouse, only on mouse. Okay, down, one event. Okay, other event is on mouse up event. Two events, I'm going to take that two event. So first event is when the mouse is pressed down, that is when the button is pressed down, that is the first event. When you are pressing the mouse button down, that's the first event. When you are releasing the mouse up, that is the second event. So these two events, you are going to handle these two events. You are supposed to call something, some two methods that is going to set the things. So let's go here, and let me take a variable, and I'm going to say, you can say anything. Okay, uh, you can say paint. Okay, initially I'm going to say false. Okay, what is the meaning of FAL? What is the spelling of false? Did I got that one? FALSC. Okay, is it, what is this I am typing? False. Okay, so paint is false, means don't paint it, or draw, you can say. Okay, draw is false. Anything you can say. Draw, paint, anything. Draw is false, means don't draw it. So in other words, initially don't draw anything. Even if the mouse is moving here and there and other things, somebody is moving here and there, don't draw anything. When to draw it? Draw it only when somebody presses the mouse button. Okay, so let's handle that event. I'm going to write a function here, function. Okay, and I'm going to say when mouse is down, when the mouse is down, let me just write this function. When the mouse is down, you say draw is true. What is the meaning? You say you start drawing now. So simple as that. Okay, when the mouse is down, you say start drawing now. So when the mouse is down, you start. And then when the mouse is released, you say stop drawing it. How do you say? You are just setting some boolean value here. So when the mouse is up, so let me write one more function. When the mouse is up, so I'm going to say mouse up. Okay, let me write one function there, and I'm going to say draw equal to false. What is the meaning of saying draw equal to false? From now onwards, don't draw it. So what is the meaning of saying draw equal to true? Is you start drawing it. So when the mouse is down, you start drawing it. When the mouse is up, you don't draw anything. So simple as that. Okay, so these two are set here. So that is set. Now the question is, I told you that it is not enough if you draw it. You must get the value of x and y. From where will you start drawing it? So the x and y coordination value must be known. How to get it? Now directly you can't get it, but your browser will tell you where is that thing. How is it going to tell you? It's going to pass you an object called as event. I call it as e. You can call it as x, v, z, anything. This is just a variable name, e. Okay, generally the event is marked as e. Now you know exception, you are handling exception, and generally you said exception is e. In Java you said exception is e. So same thing, e is the one. Now using this e, I'm going to get the starting value. So let's go here. Let me create two variables. Variable first one is starting x location, and the second one is starting y location. What is this starting x and y location? I have already told you this starting x and y location for all of them. Starting x and y location, the starting x and y location has to be known. So I'm going to take that x and y location here. So when your mouse is pressed down, you must know what is the starting x location. So starting x location is I'm going to go to this event e, and I'm going to say what is the client, that is your uh, thing. What, I'm not getting anything here. Now actually you are going to get a help in NetBeans, but now I'm not getting any help from the NetBeans. Maybe NetBeans is not happy with me now. If sy is e dot client y. Now it is showing me the last thing, but it is not showing me. I'm very sure there is something wrong in what I have done. That's why it has missed the whole thing altogether. But in any case, let me uh, continue with the explanation, and when I get the real problem, I'm going to go through it. Now, what is this client X indicates? The X value, the position where you are asking. In other words, you are asking the browser, tell me what is the, so I kept the mouse pointer here, tell me what is the X value and Y value. So that value, I am recording it. Okay. So now the let's come back to the, when the mouse is pressed down, what are you supposed to do it? Okay, when the mouse is pressed up, you have to change the values. Is yes or no? You have to draw the stroke using that particular stroke. So I'm going to say ctx ctx, okay, and I'm going to say stroke. Again, I am not getting any help from the NetBeans this time. Okay, but anyhow, I'm going to just type it to stroke. And also for the next, you know, when you draw it, you just say begin path. Now this is for the next path, not for the current path. So for the next path, you set these two values. So begin path, you know very well. You, whenever you want to draw it, you say begin path. Now the next thing, a very interesting one that's going to come is so you pressed the mouse button down, that's the starting location. Then onwards you are moving the mouse. You are moving the mouse, and that is why you are able to draw. And when you release the mouse button up, it has to stop. So when you are moving the mouse, okay, when the mouse is moving, what are you going to do? So let's write a function for that one also. Function mouse move. What are we supposed to do it? Again, I'm going to get that event because I want the x and y value. So that event e is going to give me the, what is this? E is the browser is going to give me that value object to me, saying that this is object that you have to draw it. So first of all, let's get the line width. So I'm going to say ctx dot line width. I would have set the line width there itself. So again, I'm not getting any help from the NetBeans. Line width is equal to the line width that I've set it here. So this is the line width that I've set. So line width is equal to the line width. Suppose somebody has changed the line width, you set set that thing. And if you look at here, now this is not a straight line. You will notice that it's going to look like a curve. It's a cap like thing. If you notice, from here to here, it is not a straight edge line that you're going to get. You see this is the line that is sharp edge is not coming. It is coming like a cap. So I'm going to set that value there. I'm going to say ctx dot line cap. Okay, I'm going to say line cap equal to round. Okay, so I want the edges to be rounded, not the sharp edged lines that you get. And then I'm going to say ctx dot, and I'm going to say line to. Okay, starting from the x locations. Remember, you started from here. Suppose let's say if you are pressing it down from here to here, starting from this starting x to the up to this point, so you have to draw the line there. So draw the line, okay, starting from which location? See, e dot client x minus the x location. Remember, x is you have to compensate that x. The reason why you have to compensate x is, remember, your line, you have the toolbox here. If it is says 5 minus 5 or something like that, this is the this much of a part you have to eliminate, because the toolbox is going to come. Otherwise it will start from the toolbox here. So I'm going to say, even though for the client 0 0 is here, this edge is 0 0, but for your application this edge is 0 0. So you have to always compensate this one. How do you compensate this one? Is you reduce the starting x value. So you notice this x value that you have drawn here, this x that you've drawn, that you are subtracting it. Okay, what about y direction? Remember, y, there is nothing in the y, so you're going to say client. I think my spellings are wrong. Client, and generally you get a help from the NetBeans, but I'm not getting any help from the NetBeans as of now. And I'm going to use ctx.stroke. You know very well, to get the line you have to just say ctx.stroke, and you draw this line. So let's run it and let's see whether the things are coming now. I'm going to go to my application here, and I'm going to select a color, and you notice nothing is coming, nothing, it should not come, because I have just written the function. All these functions are written. Mouse down is there, mouse up is there, mouse, everything is there. But did I connect it to my canvas? I have not connected here. So mouse move, mouse down is there, but it is not connected to this function. Mouse what is this? Mouse move is, mouse down is there, but it is not connected to mouse down. So let's fix that one. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to say on mouse down, I'm going to say mouse down. I'm going to call that function, and I'm going to pass a object called as event. This is a standard object that is available to you, so you don't have to create this object. It is directly available. You just write event here. Again, on mouse up, and mouse up, you're going to call this function, that is which one? Mouse up, this function, mouse up function. I'm going to call that a mouse, where is this gone? Mouse up function. You can use control space and say mouse up, and this is the event object which is freely available. You don't have to create them. And finally I have this on mouse move. Okay, I'm going to call the this method. What is this method? Mouse move method. So I'm going to call that mouse move method. So let me call this mouse move method. So I'm going to call mouse move method. Where is this mouse move method? Okay, and I'm going to pass this event. Just type that event if that object is freely available to you in the Java script, and you don't have to do anything. So let's go ahead and let's save it, and let's see whether I'm able to get. So I am not able to get anything here, because there is something wrong in this one. So if you notice, I am not getting anything, and I told you there is something major problem is there. So I have to first find out what is that problem, because nowhere I am getting any thing from the browser here. So I can select any color, that part I can do it. Okay, I can change the width, I can do it, but when I click and do anything, I'm not getting anything there. Okay, so let me see what is the problem, and let's try to fix this problem. So what is the mistake? So the mistake here is this should have been the small case C, and this is capital X. So there was one minor problem. So let's see whether this is going to work. I'm going to just run it and just show you. Okay, so let's run it and show. You notice that it is not stopping at all. It is simply running, and it is not stopping. So what is the problem? I have not taken care when it is started and when it is stopped. You do that, it's not going to stop. So what are we supposed to do it? See, remember, we have set when to start drawing and when to stop drawing. So we must be careful with that thing. So I'm going to say if, okay, not draw. That means if you're not supposed to draw, then if this function is called, you just return this. You don't do anything if you're not drawing it. Remember, when you're drawing it, when the mouse button is pressed down, you have to draw it. Otherwise, and when the mouse button is released, you have to stop drawing it. So only when this draw is true, then you draw it. If it is not true, don't draw it. So that is the meaning. So now let's see, it is not drawing. Okay, so when I click the mouse button, it is drawing. When I release it, it's gone. After that, it is not drawing. So when I do it, it's going to draw it. Otherwise, it's not going to draw that thing. Okay, so you notice that it's not going to draw the thing. So this is what I have done there. So if you notice here, so if it is not drawing, then I am not going to draw it. Otherwise, I'm going to draw it. So this is the extra line that I have added just to check whether the things are working fine or not. But then I realized that that's not really required. So you have the line draw, and which is equal to the width of it, and then you just remove this one. So now we are able to draw with the different colors. So let me take the different colors. We are able to draw it with the different colors, and maybe if you change the color also here, you are able to draw it. And what about the line width? If you increase it, you are able to draw it. The only thing that is left over is the clear button. So let's look at how to handle this clear button. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say function, and I'm going to say do clear. Okay, you can say, or say clear canvas. You can write a very lengthy function there, clear canvas. What are we supposed to do it? We are going to go to the CTX, and we are going to say clear. Okay, okay, and we are going to say clear rectangle. Okay, RECT. Okay, again, I'm not getting any help from the NetBeans. So generally, you know very well. Okay, and I'm going to use the canvas width and canvas height. HIGHT. Now what is that I'm doing is I'm saying they clear the rectangular region starting from 0 0. So starting from the 0 0 till the width of the canvas, that is this, as well as the height of the canvas. So from here to here, so all this region, whatever it is there, you just clear the entire region. That is what I am saying. So simple, in other words, what I am saying is this full rectangular region that you have it here, just clear from here to here, just clear all the things which are there, the garbage that is there. Now I have to fix this function to the button. So let me go to this button. So where is the button here? So I have this clear button here. Can you notice that? And I'm going to say on click when this button is clicked. So on click, I'm going to call this method, and that is what is the method I'm going to call is clear the canvas. That is the method I'm going to call, and the event is not really required. Okay, so let me show the effect there. So I'm going to draw, I'm going to select anything, I'm going to draw, clear it, and it is not clearing again. Okay, clear it. It is not clearing. It is not taking that clear canvas. What was the method? On click. Let me rerun it again. So there is something that is not working properly. Okay, so let's see. Again, I don't know whether there's something wrong with the thing there. So let me check my spelling. I think because I'm not getting any help from the NetBeans, I might have typed it in a wrong way. So let me just check whether I'm getting it. So I'm going to say the clear rectangle, RECT. Okay, so CTX. Then you say clear rectangle. So 0, comma 0 to canvas. So let's say width and canvas. I think the word that I used here is capitals. Okay, this should have been W. This should have been yeah. Generally, you get the help. I don't know. Maybe it is my bad luck that I am not getting any help from the NetBeans. That is why I'm making some mistake here. But let's run it one more time, and let's clear it, and it's clearing. Okay, sorry about that. Now because the NetBeans has given up, I'm used to getting the help from the NetBeans. Now I am not getting the help, so this is in small case, width and height. Let's draw it, and let's see whether, so we draw the content, clear it. So this is what is your exercise. Let me go and select a brown color. Okay, so you draw a tree like this. Okay, this is what they have said. So you draw a tree like this, with a tree like this, tree like this. Okay, this is what they have done. And with the other color, that is green color, you fill it with the content. Okay, you fill the content like this. So this is what you are supposed to do it on your exercise. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the next exercise. Thank you.